sun won't shine. It's hard to tell the pattern from the day. Is it all you're hearing? Is it funny how the feeling goes away?
Hey, hey, hey. Here we go. Here we go. Now we got ourselves a lunch party. Hey, Sam, how you doing?
Good.
It could just be us, Sam.
Wow. I'm privileged.
I don't know if it's a privilege or if it's awkward for you. Katherine is joining us. So
Wonderful.
Maybe we'll boot her out. I don't think she... Oh, she can hear me. She can hear me. We won't boot her out. What a terrible thing to suggest, Sam. Why would I kick Katherine out? Sam was suggesting we kick you out, Katherine.
I know, I heard that. A bit rude, isn't it?
Wouldn't dream of it.
It may just be us. This is the joy. Wow. Nice to see you, Sam. This is the joy of doing this, right? This is only the third one. This is only the third one of these I've done. And no one, when I send out the email or the message on Patreon, no one replies, or very few people reply. A couple of people reply going, oh, yeah, I can't make it this month, or I'll see you for the dinner, or...
Yeah.
But otherwise, it's wonderful. I don't know if anyone's going to come or not.
Screw those guys.
Well, I feel privileged. Thanks, guys.
Nice. Yeah, otherwise it'd be me and Katherine. And if I'm honest, I see enough of her. I've not seen you, Katherine, since our suspension. Well, we met up on Wednesday to moan. But I've not seen you as much this week because of the suspension.
I know, it must have been terribly hard for you.
I don't know how much you follow it, Sam, but we got suspended from Twitch.
Oh, really?
Yeah, just for 3 days because we showed. I mean, we broke terms and service, and when we found out, we were both very indignant, going. And then I kind of looked at the complaint and I looked at the terms and service and went,
yeah, fair enough.
we didn't just nudge it. We broke on through to the other side. We on Tuesday, I guess it was.
Yeah.
What was the story, Katherine? The
story was Mike Tyson talking on someone else's podcast about the fact that during his heyday as a boxer, he used to get past the drugs test by using a prosthetic penis and his baby's wee. And we were like, gosh, that seems like a lot of hard work for someone who's, let's face it, dim.
Let's go to the website of the company.
Yeah, it turns out you don't have to build one yourself in a kind of Blue Peter style. You can actually buy one already done. And if you want, you can buy Wee Wee too. You
can buy Wee Wee. So we, of course, we being very childish and naughty, I immediately said, quick, let's go to the website. And the website, all it is just prosthetic willies. You know, you scroll down. When we got to the prosthetic ladies part, we went back. But we kept the willies up, and then we made a prank. I've kind of pretended online we got banned. We didn't got suspended for the prank call because we phoned the company up and said, I want to order 25 of these. And we didn't get banned for that. We got suspended. We got suspended because we showed so many fake penises.
Oh, really? Well, the issue at the moment is because of obviously lockdown and stuff, podcasts, I've sort of been a bit behind.
Right.
I was listening to a call you had with a guy called Chris a few weeks ago, where he said about listening to podcasts on 1.8 times the speed.
Yes.
Right? It's changed my life. I'm catching up now. So
is that how you do it?
6 weeks backlog. I'm catching up, and once you get used to it. Now, Katherine's voice is actually quite different to kind of a standard voice.
Even squeakier. Wow.
Yeah. But once you get used to it, your brain sort of switches into it. So my partner walks in the room sometimes and she can hear just this kind of Alvin and the Chipmunks thing going on. But I don't hear that anymore. And it's great because obviously with lockdown, everyone's been doing far more podcasting. So the backlog's kind of grown. So I'm only a couple of weeks behind now. I'm, slowly catching up. But
don't overtake us is what I would suggest.
Okay.
If you do, let us know what we're going to get in trouble for next. It's not a bad idea because I listened to Tim Heidecker's Office Hours, and I just not because I'm not driving as much as I was. That's when I would listen to a podcast, is when I was driving, and so I'm not. And so I saw that I've got 15 Tim Heidecker's to listen to. So maybe what speed? You doing 1.75?
1.8. So
that sounds a bit. That's nearly 2.
I thought the same thing, and it was because listening to that caller that kind of called in, I was saying that's bizarre, and I didn't realise what the purpose of that was, because it's got an option obviously to take out any silences. That reduces the time down. It tells you how much time you're saving. But then also,
I'm so proud of my silences. By the way, if you have food, I've got some vegetable broth.
Oh, wonderful!
Feel free to eat. Don't be shy. But it's really hot.
No worries. I've got some gruntled pork scratchings, salt and vinegar flavour.
Katherine, what have you brought?
I've got a can of Coke because I got up late, so I've only just had my breakfast.
Well, you shouldn't even be here. You're not a patron. You've just budged in because you're my friend. This should be a one-on-one with Sam. Although, actually, you've probably saved it being incredibly awkward for both of us. I'm sure neither of us would enjoy it. Go on. So you have it on 1.8.
1.8.
And it cuts the silences out.
Yeah, you've got an option to cut the silences, and then to speed it up as well, it starts telling you how much time you're saving. And the same as you, Iain, is if I'm not driving, I'm not listening to the same volume, or if I'm not getting the train down to London and stuff, I'm not listening to the same volume of stuff. So what was happening was I was seeing that I was sort of looking at podcasts dated 6 weeks in the past, and now I can kind of see I'm catching up week by week. But it's a game changer. It genuinely, the first time I listened to it, I said, "Oh, no one can listen to this. It's impossible." You give it half an hour, and your mind sinks into it. It's fantastic.
This is tomorrow night show.
Because we talk quite quickly anyway, so I can't imagine.
When we go
how much faster that.
I'm going to look in. I've just written that down because we'll talk about this more on tomorrow night show. I'm going to look into it. I'm going to. So where do you know whereabouts you are on the podcast? What? Because I don't remember.
Bear with me. I'll tell you now.
Look at this.
So it's a good app. It's Pocket Casts is what I use.
Okay, because I'm on Acast. I wonder if Acast do the same thing.
And the reason is this was because of sort of Patron subscriptions and things like that. It was easier to kind of link through. Some of them don't allow you to do the links and stuff on it.
Okay.
So bear with me a second.
Boyley, you're looking very glamorous. Turns out being away from me gives you great skin. Your hair looks good.
I think my hair looks terrible. I've not brushed it. I was just thinking, would it be rude to go and get my hair brushed?
Of course it's not. Get something extra.
Bedhead.
Doing on Zoom. This is the first time I've done a Zoom with the tree in the background, and I can see just how much on the piss it is. It's going over. And also how I let the boys. I had my boy. They've just gone about half an hour ago, and I let the boys decorate it. So you can see. I can see a big gap where they've not. But I just thought we're going to let them do it, and the gaps are fine.
Is it going to make my eye twitch when I look at it? Because it's.
It is a bit, but it is wonky. So I might have to. It doesn't look that wonky in real life, or maybe it does. I think it's bent.
It looks fairly well cat-proofed if it is the bottom of it. Yeah, one side of it's free of decor. Then
Kath, you'll have to help me when you come over tomorrow. Straighten a bit. It's going to be a nightmare. Go on. Where are you up to on the podcast? Sam?
So I'm up to the beginning of November now.
What were we doing? What nonsense? Oh, so that's a couple of weeks ago. It starts getting good, I think. We're starting. The week and a half.
I think it's fantastic anyway. I think it's.
I was saying the week and a half before we got suspended. I think we started to finally get into a groove with it because Katherine and I just went right. We're not accepting any misogyny. We're not accepting any rubbish. We're just if anyone does anything we don't like, they're out. And so the Judge Boyle. I don't know if you've got there. Where should we?
Not yet. The very last conversations are around you putting the middle of the desk together so that you could look at each other and get that sort of dynamic back.
That. Oh, you've got another relapse coming then, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, a second. Oh dear.
You've got a second drugs relapse coming then. Yeah.
Oh, mate. Well,
mine. It's a shame, but I managed to get back on the wagon.
Oh, you've got a lot coming. No more spoilers. You've got a lot coming. But yes, you will get to my favorite thing. And honestly, the first one was a nice little run through, but the last one, oh God, I couldn't breathe. I was laughing so much. It's Judge Boyle. So on the Friday,
fantastic.
We go through all the ban requests. And the first one I thought was nice and it showed it worked. The second one of Katherine, sorry, I couldn't breathe. I'm laughing so much because you really got into it. You became a bit of an a-hole.
A lot of those defendants, I'm going to spoil it for you a little bit, Sam, they're not sorry. But by the time I finish with them, they are.
You've got that coming, and that is that's my favorite bit is just sitting back and listen. And we I think the last one we stretched out to almost an hour. It was almost an hour of nonsense.
We had a load in the we had a load backed up, ready to go last Friday, and I'm wondering whether they will have disappeared.
Yeah, no, they'll still be there.
Will they?
Yeah. So this Friday is going to be Uber. You know, it's going to be. But who was it? Who was it I was talking to the other day? Maybe it was Scott Balcony, but or maybe it was someone in a meeting. I don't know. But they were saying, Sam, we're in lockdown. Most of the courts are closed, but yet the High Court or the Supreme Court, I don't know which one it is open for the Rebecca Vardy, Colleen Rooney libel trial. And so it's like this is Britain. This is what Britain is all about.
But Vardy kind of won, but then they both got sent away to try and sort it out themselves, didn't they? They've been given a few months mediation.
I only saw the headline. What other podcasts are you listening to, Sam?
It's quite a list on the moment. Adam Buxton, Richard Herring. At the moment, what have I started listening to new? Rob Lowe's one is quite good.
Oh, really?
Because he's sort of a bit like Kevin Bacon. He's so connected with so many different kind of projects and things. But it's just quite interesting because he knows most of the people.
Literally.
And that's it, yeah. And I listened to his audiobook a couple of years ago. It's just really, really, really good stories, Hollywood stories, quite open about...
Oh, hang on a minute. There's an episode with Martin Short. Oh, I'm in.
Yeah, it's that sort of thing at the moment. I'm going through a bit of a binge with Saturday Night Live and stuff, so a lot of those things kind of cross over at the moment.
Adding as we speak. Look, there's Martin Short, there's Dana Carvey, Demi Moore. Oh,
it's one of the running jokes on it. They seem to be mentioning Lorne Michaels in every single episode because they're all sort of connected around him. But I've been going through on YouTube a bit of a binge with it. Saturday Night Live. You can put into your library. You can sort of set up a playlist quite quickly.
Yeah.
And you're able to either pick one of the cast or a series and kind of go through it.
It will just give you a
continuous playing. It's got that what used to happen with DVD menus. It's got like sort of an outro segment of music that sort of burrows its way into the back of your brain a bit, unfortunately. But really, really good.
I'm grabbing these. I'm not texting. I'm just subscribing to this. So what era? Oh, Mike Myers, come on, yes, please. What era Saturday Night Live are you doing?
I've gone back now. I was quite interested with Morwenna Banks did a series, which I thought was fascinating. Yeah, so she went over, I think, in the sort of mid-90s.
From Absolutely.
Yeah, and I think it was based off that. So she went over and done one series, and there's a couple of periods in Saturday Night Live history where they just change the cast after one season. They just get rid of everybody. And that's what I've sort of been looking at as the history on that. And there's a brilliant thing on the Wikipedia. You can go through and it shows you the kind of the line bars, like they do with bands. If you look at a band on Wikipedia, it'll show you the line of the time they were within the band.
Right, okay.
It also shows you the SNL cast and it goes right down. And I think Kenan Thompson now has been there the longest out of anybody. You know, he's stretched over such a huge period. But yeah, it was just quite interesting going off watching those videos and then just realising different people that had been in the cast. But Morwenna Banks, I thought was just a fascinating one, really.
I used to love Absolutely. Did you ever watch Absolutely, Katherine?
Yes.
The Scottish?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
It was now, but I did a panel show with him. That thing I did with the film thing, and I couldn't do it the second time because of the car crash. And it's the woman whose name I can't remember, and I really like her.
Oh, Janie.
Talk
about Janie.
No, used to do the Big Breakfast with Chris Evans.
Oh, Gabby.
Gabby. So he produces stuff, and of course, the guy that did, I can't remember, my mind's gone blank. The guy that did the awful talk show on Channel 5.
Jack Doherty
was in. I mean, Absolutely was incredible. There was a spin-off from that with two of them, like a sitcom.
With John Sparks.
Yeah, and that was funny, but that seemed to disappear. You've got Google.
Yeah, that's sort of phrase.
You've got a naked child in the background.
She's got a nightie on, and it's very.
Nightie,
very
it's go away. It's it's lunchtime.
Oh, they're having a pajama day.
Okay. John
Again.
Yes, every day seems to be a pajama day. Oh, look. Let's have a little look. Naked video, absolutely. He's in Shaun the Sheep.
Yeah, it was quite interesting that, obviously, with Peppa Pig as well. I've got a 2-year-old now, so that's part of our life. And yeah, just understand that the voice talent on that are obviously people that work together.
Can't think what it is. Yeah, there's too many podcasts, and I'm about to create a load more, but there's too many podcasts. It's ridiculous.
It's tricky. I mean, I followed your shows for a number of years over the different incarnations, and it's such a regularity, in my daily routine, to go to. That was sort of an easy choice of Patron, but with other people that I do listen to on a semi-regular basis, they've sort of switched that sort of model as well now, and I'm finding with subscriptions that I've got Disney Plus, I've got Apple TV, I've got. When you actually start looking at it and actually looking at how much per month what's happening, I sort of had to just refocus and think, well, you just pick the things that you truly stick with, and become it's fandom again.
That's it, and the signs of this from about like a year ago or something, when Disney suddenly took all of their stuff off of Netflix, and it may even been a bit longer, and it was like right, everybody who owns stuff, instead of licensing it out to Netflix or Amazon Prime, is creating their own channel, because that's where the money is, the subscription model. I had Disney Plus as we call it for some reason in our house. I had it for a while.
Yeah.
Wasn't that bothered. We've seen all the Star Wars. The kids don't want to watch them again, or the superheroes. We've seen it all.
Here's the other thing. We kind of signed up for the free trial just really so we could see the movies that they were putting on that were supposed to be in the cinema that they couldn't put on in the cinema, right? Which was the idea. But you have to pay for them anyway. You can get them on Sky, same price. It's no cheaper, so you can't hunt for a bargain. I went in Tesco yesterday. Mulan, that we watched 2 weeks ago for 15 quid, is on DVD already at £10.
No.
So what's the point? And so is Onward.
Yeah.
Oh, well.
But Onward was a film and a half, right?
I watched Onward last night.
Fantastic.
I was in pieces. But my boys know now that I cry at cartoons a lot.
Yeah.
Cartoons, listen to me. But also they know that if it's a thing about dads, they know I'm going to be in tears. And as we were approaching it, I said, "Boys, I'm going to be in tears in a bit." And I got some wicked hugs. I got some. They go, "Don't worry, crying daddy. We'll look after you." I think was the line from my eldest. It was lovely. But it's on film.
My youngest is taken to about half an hour before the end of any film. I realise she's next to me going, waiting for the moment when I start.
And I say to them, it's all right to cry. And if you don't cry, that's all right to not cry, But I was surprised at Onward. I thought the trailer made it look a bit ropey. Mm-hmm. One of those kind of naff ones. But I thought it was brilliant. There's some really funny laugh out loud moments. I thought the story was great. I just thought it was brilliant. I loved it.
Incredible.
Have you seen it, Sam?
Yeah. We're going through, obviously with Disney Plus, we're going through this, having a 2-year-old, trying to show her certain things. And she only likes stop motion animation or the Pixar 3D sort of animation. And my partner yesterday, in fact, I'm glad we were saying about the kind of emotions and things, because my partner was watching the end of Toy Story 3 for the first time. And I had to leave the room because it just sets me off. And
which one is that? Is that the rubbish dump?
That's right. And just the way they reach out to hold each other's hands. It just every time.
God, the whole question of life and existence. And, my God.
Just the last thing that counts is just reaching out to the. It gets me every time. So it was at that bit.
I see you welling up now, and I've got goosebumps thinking about it. It's an incredible
It genuinely is. So from that point onwards, I know there's a half an hour section that's just like the end of Lord of the Rings. It doesn't seem to end, but just gets more and more upsetting. So I sort of left, and I could just hear bits in the other room, and it's just incredible. So she was crying then, and it's usually me, as Katherine was saying. I usually kind of lean over to see.
She gone.
What we refer it to is as soon as the music comes and go na 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 na, lean over, and then she's gone. Yeah. But we agreed on Toy Story 3, and I think it is. I put it up with the best cinema there is.
Yeah.
I think it genuinely to stir that sort of level of emotion. It's incredible, absolutely incredible.
I was very disappointed with 4.
Yeah,
4 felt like it had been put. Let's put the first 3 through a computer and see what story comes out. And I just thought, wow, it doesn't quite feel. I tell you what, we watched afterwards, because we watched Onward last night, but we watched it. So we finished about 8:30, and I'd also got access to, shall we say, I really like The Rock, and the boys like The Rock. So I streamed online. Excuse me. I downloaded it via streaming service.
Legitimately, yes.
Legitimately, of course. But seriously, of course. Central Intelligence, which is him and Kevin Hart. And I don't like Kevin Hart as a person, but I find him quite funny. So it finished at 8:30, and I said, boys, you can do what you want, but I'm going to watch a film now. It's The Rock. I think you might quite enjoy it. But if you don't want to watch it, you don't have to watch it. So they went off. And then my eldest came and joined me just in time for the line. So the premise is, I mean, there's a bit of fat shaming in it, which is uncomfortable. But the premise is The Rock at school was a big lad and he got bullied. Then he comes back and he's all buff. And his comeback line is really funny to Kevin Hart. And it was just as my lad said, he went, wow, look at you. You're as sexy as Dick. And and then there was a bit when they're talking about strippers, and I had to go, whoa, okay, everybody. And then there was one more bit. There are only really those 3 bits. One more bit, and I can't think what it was, that was quite rude. And I went, okay. And fair play to my eldest. He just turned to my youngest, who was sat next to him. What's that you're looking at on your phone? And I went, well done. Thank you. Thank you. You've saved Daddy. So it wasn't quite appropriate with those bits, but it was a funny film, man. It's funny. And there's lots of Kevin Hart doing that. What the shit? You know, there's a lot of that, kind of like taking on the Richard Pryor kind of mantle. It was a great film. I was in hysterics, but not age appropriate for a 10 and an 8-year-old. That's bad parenting. It turns out. That is very bad parenting. But I'm trying to think what else we've watched recently. Oh, I watched the end of Parasite. I enjoyed the end of Parasite, but
because previously you'd watched that and bailed out before it got good.
I watched like the first 50 minutes, and I thought it was really boring. Have you seen it, Sam?
I still haven't. No, it's
no spoilers. There. No spoilers then. But I watched the first 50 minutes and found it a little dry, and everyone went, oh, no. It's like minute 51 is where it kicks up, you know, it starts. So I was like, well, okay. And I went back to it, and it does. I thought it was all right. It was all right.
I need to watch it. I think I've got this sort of lockdown syndrome where I've just been revisiting things as opposed to watching anything new.
Right.
Yeah.
So I went right back through a bedtime with my daughter. We managed to watch all of every episode of Seinfeld, to the point that she was actually pointing and shouting for Kramer.
Wow.
So I'm incredibly proud. But I managed to watch kind of all of that, and things like went through all of Big Bang Theory, which I'd never really watched.
Yep.
I quite like watching that sort of all in order. But as far as new stuff, while there was the break, I went to see Tenet in the cinema, which I really enjoyed. But anything else new? Just revisiting a lot of stuff, really.
I don't know if I enjoyed Tenet. I liked it, but I didn't find it. I liked it a lot, but I didn't find it a pleasurable experience watching it. It was. What was great about it was you could not take a rest for a second. You could not. There were no kind of filler scenes where you could kind of just relax a bit. Every scene is like, and this, you've got to watch this, and you've got to focus on this, otherwise you're not going to end up. So I enjoyed that. Of course, every time travel movie, if there's someone in a mask or a hood, you know what's happening. Oh, have you seen, Sam, Safety Not Guaranteed?
I was going to just mention that. I watched that in the last couple of weeks.
Did we watch that? Did I watch that with you, Katherine? Have you seen that?
I don't think so.
It's
so good.
It's a good film. A guy, we should watch it because I haven't watched it for a couple of years, and I
keep talking about watching it. Yeah,
it's a guy puts an advert. It's like this kind of. It's got the handsome one from that Zooey Deschanel show,
right?
Not the chutney, the kind of rugged handsome one,
right? Okay.
And he's like this sort of smug journalist, and they're looking for funny idiot stories. And someone goes, well, I found an advert in a local paper in Shittsville, Ohio, saying, looking for someone to travel through time with, bring your own weapons, safety not guaranteed. Maybe we could do a puff piece on that. And so they go and meet this guy who wants to travel through time and stuff. It's a great film.
I'm in. I'm in.
Let's do that. Let's do that tomorrow. Let's have a break from Bret Michaels from Poison.
Oh,
Rock of
but
Love.
I just know that this time's going to be the one though with Bret Michaels. The third time.
God, I don't know if you've heard us talking about Rock of Love in the podcast yet, Sam. I don't know if we've got there yet.
There is. Yeah, there's been a few mentions. Yeah.
Jesus, we've done seasons 1 and 2 since we started season 3. It is the most insane, offensive,
It's horrible.
horrible mocking of the mentally ill and the addicted, yet completely incredible thing I've ever seen in my life. It is nuts, man. It is nuts.
I just know that when we finish it, we're both going to feel terrible about ourselves, but we will finish it.
Well, then we move on to Flavour of Love with Flavor Flav, where apparently a woman does a poo on the floor.
Oh my God.
This is what I've heard from my research.
And then
The
Daisy
auntie.
of Love,
Daisy
featuring
of
one
Love.
of the most eccentric of the entrants to Rock of
But
Love.
this is it. This is what lockdown has done to us. I don't really watch terrestrial telly much anyway. And Netflix and this is on Amazon, but Netflix isn't really uploading that much stuff. Because obviously they've only got a finite amount of material, so they're really dripping it out slowly. So we've kind of been going. This is like the dark web. This is way buried in the menu of Amazon Prime. Yeah.
But also, I've got a very limited concentration span at the moment. I just can't. I've got books that I could read. Now both kids are back at school. I just haven't got the concentration span. So I'm watching a lot of crap and a lot of, flim flam, awful, not doing me any good kind of nonsense on television just because I can't commit to anything of any substance at this point.
A lot of flim flam going on.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? It's I'm kind of reading. I'm reading slowly, but I'm reading. I find it hard to get into books at the moment. Once I'm in, it's great.
You can listen to them at 1.8 speed as well.
Well, this is it.
Well, yeah, I've got Audible. I've been doing that on the way to.
Yeah. But I like old books, like old Beatles books from the 90s that aren't always audio versions, and because I'm trying to alternate between reading like a book for college. And then when I finish that, it doesn't say I reward myself. That's not quite right because I'm enjoying the books. But I then go light. I'm going college book, Beatles book, college
little
book,
palate
Beatles
cleanser.
Book. Exactly. But it's just Beatles books I'm reading at the moment. But it's slow going.
I'm thinking of getting my dad Dreaming the Beatles for Christmas.
Yeah, it's good that one.
Rubbish?
Yeah, it's good. It's good that one.
He wants McCartney 3, he said yesterday as well, on vinyl. He's feeling fancy.
On vinyl?
Yeah.
Does he know that the McCartney 1 and 2 are like experimental? McCartney 2 is where Temporary Secretary comes from.
Right.
It's going to be that.
My dad's read probably a lot of the books that you've read. So, yeah, he probably does know that. And still he persists.
Okay. I can't say what I have because this will go up on YouTube and my sister will watch it. But I have Behind the Tree is my sister's present. It's a good one.
Oh, yeah.
But I can't say what it is. I've already got to cut out your half-naked daughter from this video. I don't want to do any more edits.
Yeah. And we can't advertise the Wizinator any more than we already have.
I'm excited about getting up to speed with that.
Well, is that? I'm assuming that you've got the audio for that.
Yeah.
That's a 6-hour show.
Yeah. So do I put the whole thing? I'll put it out in 2 parts. How about that?
What? The 6-hour show?
Yeah.
In 3-hour parts?
Yeah.
Why are you just doing all complete show? Excuse us, Sam. Why? Why are you not doing best ofs?
People like it. And
so
people like it. We keep taking time off and getting suspended, and people use it.
Well, then, okay. So are you just putting out complete shows now?
No. But the one where we got banned, I think probably people want to hear that one.
The whole definitely. 6 hours?
Yeah.
In 2 chunks?
Or maybe 3.
Or maybe 6. If you're going to be lazy.
I'm not being lazy.
Here's how we do it.
All right, I won't bother. That's me being lazy.
Don't bother. It's a job. Sam, I do apologise. Genuine. How about if you can do it in 5? Do it in 5, so it's a week.
All right.
Coming up this week, it's the show that got us banned. Right. And I love the fact that we say banned, even though we knew from the moment it was a 3-day suspension. But it's the show that got us. Oh, Sam, have you heard the clip? Right. Okay. So that's
everyone put trousers on.
So 12 minutes and 30 minutes. Stop it, because I've got next one. I don't edit out.
Well, there's no one else with no trousers on, I think.
Right. So it's Sonny and Shay. It's a phone-in show on BBC London. Very safe. They're nice people. I kind of like listening to them as sort of in the background. And it's a phone-in show. And someone phones up who I've heard phoning up another phone-in show doing a very obvious fake Greek accent. Oh, it's a cuccico. It sounds more Italian. It is like, oh, it's a cuccico. I want to say cuccolo. And it's all that. And I'd heard him phoning Alan Beswick and just saying, oh, Alan, I want to make love to you. I want to kissy Alan Beswick.
But also, there is no run up to that. He goes straight in with the comedy. You know,
So Sonny and Shay, and a lot of people have said the worst crime is not the call, it's their phone-in topic. What's your favourite board game? And so
although tomorrow our show will be entitled "What's your favourite board game?"
So this person says, I want to say, in Greece we play a game called Pussy Doppoli. Now, Pussy Doppoli. First, there's two flags there already. Really bad fake Greek accent. A game called Pussy Doppoli, right? And now I have to censor it, and I won't say. And so Sonny goes, "Oh, okay, what's that?" He goes, "Well, you're a white nationalist, and we kill the M word and gays." And the host Sonny goes, "Oh, okay, tell me more." So the caller then goes 7 times, N-word, N-word, M-word, 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 M-word. And then Sonny goes, so when did you first discover Monopoly? And it goes on. And the only time this caller gets cut off is when they say the F word. And then someone went, here's the thing, there's 2 hosts in that studio, Sonny and Shay, who I'm not knocking them, but it's kind of on their watch. And there'll be at least a producer, and with the BBC, quite possibly definitely one, probably 2 tech ops as well. So there'll be 4 other people listening to that, as well as the guy who's doing the talking. And no one spied it. And it goes out for ages. And it's incredible. I mean, it's funny, because it's so shocking. The language is atrocious and it's horribly offensive. And, the N-word is, unfortunately, the new kind of phone-in. Instead of dropping a C-bomb or an F-bomb, it's the N-word.
It's the ultimate grenade now, isn't it?
But it's funny because it's just, the call isn't funny. It's just such an outrageous shock. I was in bed listening to it. And the first one you think, oh, they're going to get cut off. But then he carries on. So I'm grabbing my phone going, quick, Katherine, BBC London now. It's the
fact that he keeps handing it back to him. Instead of cutting him off straight away, he presses him for more.
And I mean, and I'm saying it's funny. It's not a funny comment. It's deeply offensive, and it's it's racist and homophobic violence, and the language is atrocious. But also, it's offensive to me as someone who can't get a job in radio. The amateur hour is allowed to be broadcast, and and as Katherine's kind of reminded me, we've always been perceived as very dangerous, and we're going to get people in trouble. We've had so many Ofcom complaints, and not one has been upheld because we're not dangerous. We make it sound dangerous. It's not dangerous. We're doing a very safe phone in. So it's an incredible clip. I would say play it with your headphones on.
Yeah, I definitely will. So do they not have a delay then?
No.
Obviously, that's
BBC doesn't. No, and someone tweeted why, and I think I'd heard it before. It's to do with like publishing, or it's to do with censorship or something. There is a reason for it, and I can't quite think what it is. But no BBC phone in has a delay. So it's amazing that more, swearing doesn't get on. But here's the thing: I've got a fader here. As soon as I heard that accent, I would have sat on this fader, slightly different to the Twitch show because I have to drag it on screen. But in a studio, as soon as you hear that, you sat there with your finger on it. And as soon as, first of all, me and Katherine are great at hearing the N word, and normally we get it within the. But the fact that boom, 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 it's incredible listening.
But I also do wonder what was going on, and I can imagine. We were talking about it earlier on. My guess, there was a conversation going on in the production suite. No one was listening. That's my guess, right? For at least 2 other people not to hear it at all, something else was going on. that shouldn't have been going on. Because when we used to do phone-ins and we were doing it live and we had the delay, we had that kind of cushion as well, which was brilliant. But every time a new caller came on, our eyes locked. Sam, who was on the phones, we were all looking at each other and we were all judging, how safe is this? How safe is this? And it would just take one look from one person, finger on the fader. You know, there was no talking in ears because that is very distracting.
Well,
and,
I never have it. I always say type it on the screen. And also
as well, right, who's this and what they're going to do? That's
also, I've missed stuff because sometimes I'll be looking at an email or I'll be Googling something and I will miss something, but Kath will go dump that and I won't question it. Fader goes down, I'll dump it and then I'll say, what did I miss? And sometimes I can think of maybe possibly 2 occasions where it wasn't a swear word. Don't matter.
But it sounded like one, and that's the point. You know?
On the side of caution. Some world, Sam. Some world out there.
It is. And I think remote working, and we found that will work with us as well, is that people are being kind of stressed. We're doing like Teams and Skype calls every day and stuff. And usually where you'd sort of have an employee being able to be censored by their manager or, you know, instead of taking things to big meetings where it's a bit more wider reaching, there isn't that sort of filter anymore.
Right.
So people are turning up to some meetings incredibly stressed and just blowing their top, and everyone's on the call. It's live. It's not a case of someone's going to take them to one side. Let's go speak in the corridor kind of thing. It's just everything kind of comes out. Yeah. And I think remote working, a lot of that stuff is, you know, I think the technology and stuff you're saying, I was wondering if, you know, for radio shows and things, if some people are working remotely and things like that, it sort of loses something a little bit.
I think they're in the studio. I think BBC London is in the studio.
Well, they're husband and wife for a start, so they're going to be together, regardless of whether they're working at home or not.
I think they're in the studio because Jim Davis is on afterwards, and he was in the studio, so I think it's a studio thing. What do you do, Sam? If you don't mind me asking.
No, I'm a project controls. I do so project management, planning side of things. So I'm currently working on a rail project, but prior to that, at the start of this year, I was down in London working at Houses of Parliament for the rebuild, you know, with Elizabeth Towers in scaffold and stuff like that. So it's a project controls consultant, really.
When you say a rail project, is that HS2? Or is it top secret?
No. It's the one I'm working on at the moment is East Coast Digital. It's sort of the to align British Railway to what everyone else is doing in Europe and all the trains and stuff and tech they're using over there. But yeah, it's for me, it's business as usual, you know.
And are you constantly working at home, or do you? I mean, would you normally go out on site, or are you?
Yeah, I mean, I was based down in London the beginning of the year until the end of February. The project actually ended at that point anyway, and then I started this new project, still haven't met anybody apart from virtually, and there's no intention this year to kind of go back in the office. Well, we're based. My head office is based out of Victoria. And there's no intention to kind of go back there. It's such a big office building. There's no way of everyone actually getting through safely, getting into the building, out of the building with the lifts and everything. And it's working effectively. I mean, I'd say 50% of my time was working from home anyway. So it's not really any different for me. But I think for a lot of people that live in London, certainly the guys I know that live in sort of like high-rise flats and stuff, for them it's such a major change.
Oh, yeah, and this is the thing, you know, me and Katherine are very lucky. We've both got, you know, decent houses with a bit of a garden and stuff like that. And you know, this is it. This is our radio studio. So it's kind of been a joy working from home. It's for a lazy man like me, it's great. But yeah, you know, if you think, well, if you're in a flat share, or if you're in a 1-bedroom flat, or, you know, if you're living somewhere that's not great, suddenly it's not home, you're bringing work home. It's like your home is now your workplace, and you're locked into that. There's no escape from it. You know, if you've got one room, that's it. I can go in the living room, I can go and sit in the garden, I can go up to bed. Brilliant. If that's it, if your work is always there in front of you, that can drive you nuts, man.
And I think that was a lot of the intention was to support mental health, was to make some of the offices hugely segregated, but allow some people to kind of go there if it was essential. And I think they've got some sort of like hubs and things. They've set up sort of these remote little offices and stuff for some other people to kind of go to. So they are sort of kind of dealing with it. But for myself, not having to go into London, it's been an absolute joy. Really, really. picking my daughter up from nursery every day it's completely changed my thinking around all of this now. It's the conversations in the car and the seeing her development and stuff. To me, I'm hoping that the positives out there, the other end of it, is that there is a change to this sort of work.
How old is your daughter? Is it just the one kid you've got?
Yes, we've got another one on the way.
Hey.
She's 2. You're very gracious in sending a message to us.
Oh, that was your video, and you didn't get that. You didn't get the last one.
That's it. Yeah. So we got a double bubble. But
I'm sorry, man. I filmed it and I didn't send it. So I apologize. Yes. Okay. Good. Well, I'm glad you've got that, and that's given me something to look out for. So when's the new one due?
May.
Exciting, man.
Yeah. So
everyone well and healthy?
Yeah, all good. I think we've got a building work going on in the house at the moment. So the challenge is, I think my partner will be pregnant on a stepladder now, trying to get some painting done. Insistent.
Well, you're talking to two idiots.
Honestly, I can't argue with her because this is very much, I think, the nesting sort of instinct and stuff.
Yeah.
That she will chastise me for trying to stop her doing anything. So no, so it's good. She get on with that. So we're hoping for Christmas we'll have the inside of the house done and then some building work outside. But yeah, the focus is Christmas now, I think, to get everything settled.
And 2-year-old is hard because now my boys are nearly 9 and 11. It's hard to remember the stages. But 2 years that's exciting for Christmas. She's excited for Christmas.
It's wonderful. I think conversationally now it's brilliant because every day is quite exciting. Yesterday she was in a very East End gangster kind of accent, was telling me, "Daddy, you can't."
You what?
Continuously. And then as soon as she saw us laughing was then, "Daddy, you can't." But obviously in accented. And then the other thing as well, she's a big fan of the Julia Donaldson thing, Stickman, the kind of animation.
Yeah.
But I don't know why, but she refers to it as Dicks and Men. And that's what she's demanding before bed is Dicks and Men every night now as well. So it's those kind of things that are just making it perfect. And us hiding our faces from her when we're laughing at the things that she's saying. So
yeah.
That
reminds me of my youngest one Christmas was asking very vehemently. She wanted a Dickard. Want a what now? I want a Dickard. A Dickard. It went on and on and on. Father Christmas asked her what she wanted. A Dickard. It was a guitar. I want a Dickard.
Well, even that gesture isn't very helpful, is it? I mean, that's terrible.
A Dickard like mummy. That was another one.
Kids swearing either, on purpose or by accident. It's always a joy. It's always a joy. I love it. I've been a little bit too sweary in front of my kids. I've said to them, right, I'm not going to swear anymore. Because I've been a little bit, because I do it for a good laugh. I get a good laugh out of them, but it's a little bit naughty. So I'm stopping. No more swearing, Katherine. And also this suspension has been a wake-up call because it's got a little bit sweary, a few F-bombs.
Got a bit rude.
Got a little bit rude. We're bringing back family fun. Family fun.
Well,
every step of the way.
I just made a podcast with that Brazilian Daniel talking about your ayahuasca experience that he dreamed. So after that, we'll definitely go family friendly.
Do you want to tell Sam what that was, or do you want to?
Daniel's kind of an inventor, isn't he?
Well, he invented a postcode system that involves cubes.
Yeah, and also he suggested that Amazon's doing it all wrong, and what they should be doing is dropping parcels onto the back of delivery vehicles,
mini cabs, and then when a mini cab gets then a drone takes it and moves it onto another mini cab, and then that's how they do it.
Yeah.
But
it needs his special system of postcodes.
He gets very confused, and he phoned up to ask if he'd dreamt something or if it actually happened on the show. What was it?
Didn't you have a guy, Noel, that was like that as well?
Oh, God. We'll get to Noel in a second.
So Daniel was going, I hope you can help me. I don't know whether, he's got this voice.
It's the wrong voice. That's Jasmine's.
Oh, yeah, that is. No, Jasmine, it's more like that. But, yeah, he couldn't remember whether you'd actually talked about this on the radio or not. But did you take ayahuasca and then tell everyone that it got rid of your sexual problem? And Iain sort of said, what sexual problem are you talking about? He said, did you take ayahuasca and then say, my kids are here, I can come. Now I can come. And we both sort of collapsed. And he was very insistent that that's what he'd heard, didn't he? Have you got it? I sent you a clip.
I don't know if you'll be able to hear it if I play it. Let's.
I could come.
Could you hear that?
I could come.
Yeah.
I could come.
There we go.
He reckons he heard that on the radio.
Wow.
I'll put that in the pay for clip so that people can have that.
And the bit I liked was him saying, because I know Iain likes to take drugs now and again. I went, well, he's trying not to.
I love it. I love it. That's the problem.
But yeah, no, not ayahuasca with the shaman, not yet.
I am going to do a stream in a bit because we've got to make up 10 hours in the next 8 days. So I might do. What's that laugh for?
Oh, Farhan is so nice, isn't he, from Twitch? I feel really sorry for him that he's taken us on.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. Didn't stick up for us once. Let's take the bullet. When we all know it was your fault for bringing up the story.
I think we can't deny it was a fair cop.
Sam, before we go, is there anything that you would like to ask me or Katherine, who I think has maybe slipped something else into that can of Coca-Cola?
Well,
slipping down a little too easily.
No, I think it's good. I just wonder how you guys are kind of finding it. I mean, obviously, I'm a couple of weeks behind, but you were discussing, how you were finding your feet and how you were finding it different to radio. Just wondered how that was going, really.
I think we've hit. I think we've hit a bit of a sweet spot, and we've got some ideas that we're going to kind of try and bring in this week to make each show a little bit more themed, very, very loose theme, different days of the week. So Monday is going to be SOS, which is shit old shows. So that's where we might watch an old TV show. Tuesday Club, we might have something a little bit more spiritual. I can't remember what Wednesdays were.
Wednesdays is...
Oh, you called it Wednesdays We Have Company.
We got Company Wednesdays, yeah. We were going to have like a sort of, like Celebrity Squares, like a sort of Zoom call, just
fantastic,
permanently open.
But without celebrity, Sam. Sorry if the word celebrity there confused you.
No,
with
like
punters.
Celebrity Squares, but with just the usual punters. But also they'll be allowed to be voted off every hour.
People can vote them off.
Great
Thursday
idea.
will be that silly quiz we do. Friday will be Judgment Day. So I think we're hitting a groove. I think the show has moments of being great. I think it has moments of two, idiots not going, well, what do we do now? And that's getting less. I don't get much pleasure out of it. The spark has gone for me, and I was going to say since the end of Talk Radio, but the spark had gone for quite a long time at Talk Radio, and I don't know when or how that spark will come. If that spark will come back, it might not come back. Don't know. How are you finding it, Boyley?
I enjoy it, but I don't know what it is quite yet. And there is a sense, I don't know. I realise that we're lucky. And I also realise after the experiences that we've had the last two places we've worked, is that certainty is a trick anyway. So, I thought I had a stable job in two other places. So stability, I shouldn't worry about it. I'm just taking it for what it is at the moment. I'm enjoying it for the most part. I think it's different for you because you're working in the same place that you live. So you're never away from it. At least for me, it represents, I have a wash and I get dressed up and I
have a wash? Shut up, you.
Don't always.
Not always. All right. Admittedly, not always. But most of the time I have a wash.
No, but otherwise I sit around here all day, bored for the most part. It gives me something to look forward to. That's the difference for me, Okay. You dread me arriving, and I look forward to coming over there.
So, but I think it's, Sam. Unless there is anything else, we shall thank you very much. Well, I shall thank you. This is absolutely nothing to do with you, Katherine. You've ponied it on my thing.
I appreciate you amusing me for half an hour.
Hang on 1 second, Sam. What? Because here's what I can do.
You kick me out.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not going to kick you out.
Yeah.
Kicked her out. She's gone. Now we can talk freely. Let's get the cigars out. Thank you, man. Your support is appreciated. Again, apologies for that video not being sent to you last month. But,
No, thank you very much. I'm hugely appreciative. Thank you for all the joy you bring. It's massively important. I think it's one of these things. I said podcasts are just a daily part of daily routine. You're without you knowing, you're part of my life. Do you know what I mean? I think it's hugely important, and that's why I want to support it, because I think, you know, you're one of the greats, and as a team, the pair of you now, I think Twitch is such an exciting environment. It's the right place. I just hope you find, you know, your creative, you know, inspiration again, because happen. You know, it's all critical to that. But I can only say thank you, because it's a big deal to me.
Thank you,
it means
man.
a lot.
Never feel obliged. If at any point you don't want to pay, you can't pay, whatever, you know, people have cancelled, and that's wonderful. That's great. So please never feel obliged to carry on supporting financially, because I know, you know, I know where we are in the world. So it's appreciated, but I think no less of anybody that does, that doesn't, that cancels, whatever. It's all good.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Man. Nice to see you.
And you.
I'll speak to you later on. Cheers, Sam.
Speak soon. Take care.